everybody. We are back. I'm very excited to see everyone. This is still in March. I don't see you. I'm listening to you, but I'm happy to be back. If you'll permit me to brag a minute, we are in 14 countries and 20 US cities already, which I think is kind of cool for, a first timer out there with just 5-10 minute episodes going on. So I'm excited. I'm having fun. Hope you are too. I have let you know before, I coach women over 50 who are looking to find the love of their lives. And if you know anybody, send them to my website, dianebrandonmoody.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As long as TikTok's around. Who knows? That may not last very long, but for now, I'm on TikTok. So, just another quick reminder, when I'm running a solo show, it will only be a quick 10-minute-ish show. So you can listen to me while you're walking the dog or getting in the car to go to work, whatever. It'll be quick, hopefully fun, and informational. We are planning to talk about health info for women over 50, dating, loss, because that happens over 50, relationship advice, sex, all about men, friendship. And today, what's exciting is I get to introduce you to one of my best friends in the world, and she has been for years. And if you didn't understand that, that was actually over 40. We met when I was a college intern at a community television station, and she worked there full time. And we've been getting along ever since. I cannot believe it's over 40 years, but there you go. So let me introduce you to my very good friend and a bridesmaid in my wedding 5 years ago, Catherine Whiteman. Yay!
I hear thunderous applause, and I am so excited to be here with you in this very strange closet I'm sitting in.
I'm in a closet. You're in a closet. We're not really in closets that we know of, other than this is our fancy schmancy podcast studio for the day. It works.
Heaven. It does.
The
absolutely.
microphone didn't work, but the closet works just fine. So I am going to let my peeps get to know you just a little bit if they don't already. As far as I know, everybody I'm listening to may be friends of either yours, mine, or both, but who knows? So tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, where are you from? Who are you?
Okay, so the short story is, like Diane said, well, we met at a small community television station where I managed to have a career for over 40 years. And that is how we know we've been friends for over those many years. It's a wonderful job. I met great people. I interviewed folks that there's no way I could have imagined when I started that job that Oprah Winfrey would be on my show, which is an insane thing for a community television station. But there's a story there that maybe we get to tell. But I've also, during that entire time, married twice, once divorced, and raised two, I kind of have to say, two amazing sons.
I'll say it for you. They are amazing sons. I know both of them, have known them since the day they were born, and they are amazing.
They're pretty outstanding young men, and I'm real proud of them. So I've done the career thing. I've done the mom thing. I've done the wife thing. And now I'm getting to do the passion thing. Right now, I'm involved in a couple of organizations that align with my interest. I'm working with a local theater group that produces works written only by women, and I'm also working with a local symphony orchestra. And the music and the art in the theater has always been a passion of mine, and I'm really getting to dig into those things now. So retirement life is sweet.
I'm so jealous of you. I mean, I haven't been really working in a career job for 5 years, but it sounds like it's amazing to one day be working and then everybody throws you a party and adios, muchachos.
The party was wonderful, and I assumed that I was going to actually be able to rest, but I am not a good person with rest. I If I don't have something to do and left to my own devices, I create mischief. So it's better that I have things that I have
You take
things
after
going
your
on.
mama like that.
Oh, I know.
Gotta
So
be up
yeah,
to something.
I'm happily retired and happily busy with some very exciting things, and really enjoying this third chapter of my life.
That's incredible. So, to expand on having been friends for a long time, because as you know, this episode is all about the importance of female friendship. Um, Tell us what female friendship is for you. Like, I know you have friends you've known even longer than me. So, tell us about that.
By way of background, I met one of my dearest friends in the world, the woman that I consider my bestie best, the first day of first grade. So now that's over a 60-year friendship, and we're still close, and we still hang out and do really goofy things together, and that's great. The next dearest friend in my life I met in fourth grade, and we are still big buddies. We've, as with you, Diane, we have been through some tough shit together. We have, but
Mm.
we have more than survived. You know, I always love that Gloria Gaynor song to dance to, but but the trick is not just to survive, but to thrive. And I know I can't speak for every woman on the planet, but for myself, part of that thriving has been the wealth that I have in friendships.
Absolutely. I can wholeheartedly agree. The very first friend I had, I don't really remember not knowing her. We moved to Irving, Texas from Albany, New York when I was 2 months old. And when I was 4 months old, our neighbor had a baby, and the two of us were raised together. Like we were always together until we were, I don't know, 11 or 12, for all together. We're not together all that often anymore, but I still get together with the mom for lunch periodically, and we laugh so hard. It's always some story from 1960 something that we cannot quit laughing about. So, I mean, I don't remember not knowing her. There's just no space where I didn't know her. And I've had other friends that I've had every bit as long as you or longer. The other two bridesmaids I've known longer than you. They were my best friends in high school. But yeah, I think keeping female friends when you know you can trust them, you know they won't rat you out because you know where the bodies are buried, and vice versa.
Amen.
You can tell stories on each other. So I and you trust them. When you need something, you know they're going to be around. So that is that is worth everything to me.
Yeah, it is absolutely. And you touched on it when you talked about your first friend. Having women that you can then both laugh and cry with, especially when there's more laughter than tears, is just, it's just an incredible thing. And if you don't mind me interjecting here, Diane had one of the most fun weddings I have ever been to. And not that I want to put this spotlight back on you, but the probably the three things that I have laughed about and smiled about the most was that we have a joke between us that I'm in the Guinness book for the world's oldest bridesmaid.
That's because
But
I was the world's oldest first time bride. I mean, I had to have old bridesmaids.
even better, is your 35-year-old flower girl.
Yeah, 38. She was 38 at the time. Yeah. And
So
that
you have
came
to tell that
about.
story.
Yeah. Well, she's my goddaughter, has been my goddaughter since shortly after she was born. We have had a special connection our entire lives, sometimes more, sometimes less, as we move in different parts of our lives. But when she was about 4 years old, I had high hopes for a relationship that really didn't go anywhere. But at the time, I told her, do you want to ask her, do you want to be my bridesmaid or my flower girl when I get married? And she goes, yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. So, fast forward years, and I never got married. I was a first time bride, as I have told people in this podcast before, at the age of 58. Met him at 57. And so after I got engaged and we decided on a wedding, I called her and I said, Jeannie, sit down. And she said, what's the matter? What's the matter? I said, just sit down. And she sat down and I said, do you want to be my flower girl in my wedding? And she laughed so hard. She goes, this is such a Diane thing. Of course I'll be the.
It was great to finally meet her because, I've heard the stories over the years, but to finally meet her, she and I laughed so hard about her being the flower girl at, well, I thought 35. So girl looks good. She looks good.
Yeah, she does. She does.
And me being a bridesmaid probably for about the fifth or sixth time in my life, but at my mature age was just such a hoot and so much fun. Fun wedding. Oh yeah, let me throw in the last thing. The flash mob singing All You Need Is Love at the end of the wedding ceremony just could not have been a better Diane touch. Just gotta say.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was fun. I think there were a few baffled people like my mother, but then again, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, okay, so we'll step away from that subject right now.
No, that was fun. It was a fun wedding. We had a great time. We danced and had lots and lots of fun. And thank you again for doing that, because she sang that Can't Help Falling in Love with You
Yeah,
as
I did. That
the
was very.
last song before I came in. So they were the people who were running the venue said, if you want to hear this, we can sneak you under the stairwell and nobody will see you. And I said, great, I want to hear it. So I was able to hear it. I couldn't see anything, but I could hear it. It was wonderful. It was a fun event. So while we're talking about dancing, though, we mentioned dancing. So we have to talk
Uh-oh.
about.
Oh no.
So they used to have a lot of parties at this TV station, especially, well, it wasn't so much after football games because we were pretty wrecked after that, but, periodic dancing and parties. And yeah, there was alcohol. And this was during the Michael Jackson Thriller time frame. I remember listening to that. Like, how many times did we listen to that? But our favorite thing, which I only have vague memories of,
Can you say alcohol?
alcohol, yeah, for alcohol reasons, is that Cathy, what you don't know is Cathy has the most amazing voice. She sings like an angel, if an angel has a beautiful alto voice, because
A
it's a
whiskey
deep one
voice.
and beautiful. It's a whiskey voice. It's a beautiful voice. So she sings like an angel and she dances great. I do neither, but it doesn't stop me from doing it. Dance like no one's watching. People watched, I didn't care. Anyway, go ahead, take it from there, Miss Whiteman.
Okay, so we frequently had these parties. The station was it still to this day is quite a good organization, and we would have these parties after we'd win some award. And I don't remember when we started the tradition, but at some point in the evening, after everyone had had sufficient lubrication, we would sing Proud Mary. And I took the Tina Turner role. My hair was short at the time, so frequently I'd find a light colored towel and put it on my head. So that would be my blonde wig. Okay, so this is getting real ugly here, but it was a lot of fun. And Diane was always one of the background dancers and singers, and we could
I was an Ikette every time. I wasn't a very good one, but it didn't stop me from doing it time and time again.
Yeah. This is terrible. I guess because we both have recently seen the Tina Turner musical. I forgot that the girls were called the Ikettes. I guess I have an Ike mental block or something, but yeah, Ikette.
And well deserved to have a block. I mean, he was a musical genius in some ways for his time. Unfortunately, he lost that status by beating up Tina. I mean, it just was horrible. It was just really horrible. But that was my role, was a dancing Ikette. And
Mhm.
I was not at all good at it, and it didn't stop me one.
Well, here's the thing. I remember you being excellent at it. So, like I said, sufficient lubrication will take care of all good and bad memory.
Okay,
Sometimes.
good. Yay. Well, that worked. Well, so what I also remember from those days is I remember getting to know you because I kept stopping by your desk and probably bugging you while you were on a deadline or something. But I just found you the most interesting person there among a lot of interesting people. I mean, I'm still in contact, as are you, with many of them, but I just kept stopping by. And I don't know when we started doing stuff or going out together or whatever, but we sure had a good time doing it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think when I think one of the wonderful things about finding a friend that you're meant to be friends is that you kind of don't necessarily know what the origin is. In fact, with the woman, well, both of the women that I mentioned first, my friend Carla and my friend Sherry, we don't remember, we don't have the same memory of the day that we met. When I talk about meeting Carla on the first day of first grade, she remembers us meeting in a classroom because neither one of us had lunch. Parenting skills were, I mean, come on. Neither of us had lunch, and so we had to be in a classroom. I remember us actually meeting in the cafeteria, so it might have been before they hauled us out of there when they realized we didn't have anything to eat. It was the most ridiculous thing. But so I don't remember when we first met, other than the formal "this is the new intern Diane." But I remember very distinctly being sent out to shoot snow at DFW Airport, and you and Lori and I got in the car and drove expensive equipment with us, and expensive for the time car, I guess. This belonged to the organization that it did. And it was too cold to get out of the car. It just was.
I don't remember that at all.
Oh,
I don't doubt you one bit, but I don't remember it.
We shot video from the car, and the man who was editing it was so pissed at us. So
that sounds like something we would do. Yeah.
But it kind of went from there. After you left the station, we didn't lose contact with each other. And I came over to eat at Diane is an incredible cook. She probably hasn't said this to you guys, but oh my gosh, my husband calls her on a regular basis. He says, Diane, I need to know how to make blah blah blah, whatever it is. So she's an incredible cook. So we'd go over and eat, and the boys would go with me to eat, and and we'd hang out, and there was happy hours and cocktails and visits to Austin.
Yeah, and now we're in bed by 9:30. It's sad.
Yeah, we sure are.
Not together, separately, but No,
Yeah,
so I was thinking of, and you tell this story very brilliantly. At this particular TV station, I was an intern, and at that time, it was a small enough organization that they would let you do just about anything you wanted to do as an intern. to find your place. And so I was working cameras. I don't think I ever did audio. I got talked into writing a segment on um, what was that ballet? The
Oh, it was the
Nutcracker.
Nutcracker. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes, I
And
remember
I
this.
did that with the flu, and it was the same weekend I was graduating from college. But so anyway, I was running camera, and last time it wasn't the last party, but a recent party, Paul, who was our boss or my boss at the time, he said, your voice is on the sizzle reel in a couple of places. I said, it is not. It's been way too long. That was how many years ago? 25 years ago. He goes, I promise it's you. And I started laughing. So go ahead and tell the camera story.
Well, okay, so there are two camera stories, and I don't know that we have time for both of them. Are you talking about the not to be named high school cheerleader camera story where we hear you, or the in the studio with the bomb that turned
I
out
was
to be a dummy model?
I was referring to the bomb, but briefly the cheerleader story was, we covered the football games every week, high school football games, and we would do an opening. And it was a high school that was a crosstown rival of mine. And I would stick the microphone under, the mouth of this particular cheerleader or drill team person, whoever. And she was just supposed to say, hey, this is Friday night football, blah, blah, blah. See you soon, or something very simple. And she just, bless her heart, couldn't get it. And it went on and on and on. And then finally, I turned into a smart ass and I went, take 57. Wasn't that long, which apparently they laughed at in the truck. And that's on tape. And then she said it, she got the line right. It wasn't the most brilliant delivering, but she got the line right. And I said, that's as good as it's going to get.
And that's on the demo tape. Or
It is on
not
the
the demo
demo
tape, it's on
tape.
the outtakes
And
reel.
Paul said, I told you that was you. And I said, yeah, you're right. That was me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
it was me.
we had a lot of fun. And you make the absolute best of what you got on hand when you're in a small startup organization that nobody really knows what the job is going to be until you get there and you realize all this stuff has to be done to make some decent television, and you just throw yourself at it. And I think that's probably what we did for the first 10 years, and then after that things started falling into place. But it was a good time. It was a great place to work, and a great place to make one of the best friends in my life. So yay us.
Oh, it was worth it. And I told Paul that it was a great internship because I found out about as much as I was terrible at as I did what I was good at. And he said, that's really not a bad thing to know at the age of 22. And I said, yeah, you're right. Because now I
Exactly.
know I have no interest in editing at all, ever. So, so anyway, I don't want to take up forever, but I do have some James Lipton style rapid fire questions at the end. So I am going to ask them of you because these poor people listened to me answer myself over the last five episodes. They'll be happy to listen to somebody new. So, how did you meet the person you're with now?
I met my now husband about 30 years ago. We've only been married for 10. But I met him actually probably about 40 years ago, now that I'm saying these words out loud. We were both in a production of a play. He's a very talented percussionist, and they needed drummers for this play. And when I met him, he was a married man. I was single. I thought he was cute, but I did not fool around with married men. So hands off. We reconnected probably 10 years later, and I was about to get married, and he just got divorced. The timing was not right. as I was getting divorced from my son's father, who is still a friend, I have to say, we just did not
Good
work
man.
as good man, good man. We didn't work as spouses. Anyway, we were about to get divorced, and Lynn reached out to my friend Sherry and said, "Hey, I heard Cathy's getting a divorce, and I want to call her." And Sherry said, "You ain't gonna do nothing, boy," and gave him my number. And he didn't call me for a month, but he did finally call. It was my 40th birthday. I was separated, not yet divorced, and broken up from a man who kind of swooped right in there, but that was not going to work. And he actually took me out to dinner on my 40th birthday, and we have literally been together ever since.
That's amazing.
Not rapid
I
fire,
don't
but it's
know.
a good story.
I no, I don't know that I ever actually heard that whole thing. I knew parts of it, but that's amazing. So what's your favorite place to travel?
Oh, Italy. I was in school there for 6 months back when I was in my, gosh, I think I was 19, so about to leave my teens, and lived in Rome and traveled around the continent. And oh, but gosh, everything about Italy just appeals to the stuff that I love. I love the art, I love the history, I love the food, and I love the
Mm,
man. So yeah, Italy works for me.
that's great. I've never been. I can't wait to go sometime. So what keeps you up at night?
The elections, and I'll just stop there. I think my
I said
voice
the
said
exact I said the exact same thing. I totally get it. Yeah. What's your favorite curse word?
motherfucker.
I said that one
It's
too.
just that way.
I said it exactly that way too. What's your favorite? Who's your celebrity crush?
Oh, I have a different one every day, but today it's Idris Elba. Oh my God.
Oh, he's fine, isn't he?
Oh,
He
and that
is so fine.
voice. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
chills.
yeah, he's great. One of mine is John Hamm, who apparently is in town making a movie. So we may have to go John
Field
Hamm
trip,
hunting one of these days. Yeah,
field trip.
we may have to do that if my husband will let me out of the house. What's your favorite food?
That's another thing that changes daily. Um, Today, a well prepared sea bass would light up my life.
That's yummy. Love that.
Mhm.
Your guilty pleasure.
Really steamy romance novels. And I mean, really steamy.
Score. I love that.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being a guest. I knew I could trust you to be entertaining as well as not make fun of my skills.
No, you're doing a really great job at this. I have to say, I was really, after listening to the other podcast, I thought, I can't wait to do this with Diane. You know, you're a natural. You should have given some more thought to that whole TV career.
There's still time. No. So you do storytelling and people can hire you and your hot mess of a husband, Lynn, who I adore, as who is an amazing percussionist. If
He is.
anybody's interested in any of your services, how do they reach you?
Well, thank you for that. We are about to experience a storytelling odyssey this summer. We're going to be in a couple of different places. If you're interested in seeing any of the shows, they're great, family friendly, fast paced, fun. Lynn and I have just we love doing this together. It's so much fun. You can check out our website, percussionthings.com, and you can also join our mailing list there or inquire about services there. Lynn also has, as you'll see on the website when you visit, a new brand, the Modern Cajon Jazz Ensemble. and he brings percussion driven jazz in, and it's gorgeous music from wonderful places. And so that's there too, in case you're curious.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that because I plan on seeing him again one of these days. He sends me information and I just haven't been able to come. But so anyway, my sign off, I have dropped. You may have heard ChatGPT gave me a sign off, which was the stupidest thing I ever heard, but I thought it
Oh
was
no,
so
I think that
funny. I
was kind of
used it.
corny and
It was
gorgeous.
children, it was so silly. But the only part I'm going to leave in about it is to say thank you very much, folks, for listening and go drink some champagne for no reason. Thank you.